What's the deal with people who actually manage to keep a journal? What's their secret? Are they just trying to be mysterious, or are they manifesting their own rom-com? It turns out that some people do indeed do that, but they also journal for the sake of working through things. Hi, and welcome to Acquired Nonsense. As an expert in saturating journals with years worth of thoughts, problems, emotions, and the occasional dream, you could argue I'm an avid journaler. Here are 3 things to keep in mind if you are one of the many people who excitedly buy new journals and pens, but fall off after 3 measly entries. But before I get into that, let me call myself out and say those 3 measly entries are way better than nothing. If this is something you're wanting to do because you think it'll help you relax or process heavier emotions, if you think it'll help you better yourself or help you target more of your goals, maybe you think journaling can even be used to help you simply appreciate life more by reflecting and writing. No matter the reason, if you're wanting to see yourself journal more, those 3 measly theoretical entries are valid. Find enjoyment in the process of writing out your words, your sentences, your realizations on paper. Even if your mind isn't totally concentrated on the meaning of the words at that moment, there's something relaxing about simply just writing. It's a slow process, of course, but slowing down and just focusing in on a simple but involved activity can be very beneficial to people. This could be your chance to focus on prettier handwriting, to relaxing your posture, to making a page look nice. It's almost meditative, and I'll admit, anytime I've taken a big break from manually writing, going back to consistently journaling can be a bit tiring for your hands. It takes time to build up the ease of being able to sit and write for extended periods of time, so be patient with one word, one thought, one entry at a time. Moving on to my second point. Be honest and put some trust in the process. This journal is not meant to represent perfection or the ideal thoughts you should be thinking. Be real on paper. Be sad, be angry, be confused. All of these emotions are valid. And for me, the purpose of journaling is to be able to work through problems. So, let's say I'm feeling mildly upset. Someone just decided to raise my rent by $450, and due to the feudal derivative system of American capitalism, I am powerless against it. Yes, I tried to negotiate a different rent, but was ultimately given a weak default excuse of there's nothing we can do. And so, I journal. While writing, I might realize that I'm actually just feeling stressed about the newly impacted financial pressures of keeping up with the cost of living. In fact, I own up to the fact that I'm losing sleep over it, which is only making my days feel worse and worse. Ultimately, I'll take time outside of journaling to do some budgeting and assure myself that I'll actually be okay. And because I am doing my best to stay motivated, I take this as a sign to stay motivated in my general goals. I want to be financially free. I want to be able to approach unexpected, ever-inflated costs like this with ease. I'll sit down when I have the chance and adjust some of my goals and set new goals to describe new motivations. And to promise myself to not let this stress eat me, to keep on keeping on because that's my only option. In case it isn't obvious, this is a very real example of something that happened to me about a year ago. My honesty and anger worked together with my process of journaling in order to overcome this massive stressor over the course of a week. Yeah. My local and national economy is crap. Yes, I have put myself in a position to have to deal with landlords. But ultimately, I knew what to do, and my silly little journal aided in that help.
This is an example of what happened about a year ago, and it was taken from one of my journals. Which brings me to my next point, my catalog of thoughts.
Point number 3.
This isn't so much advice as it is more of a hard-hitting observation.
It makes you own up to your BS. There's nothing more entertaining than looking back at old entries, the emotions behind those entries, and realizing you are no longer in that same headspace, situation, or dilemma. In the case that you have allowed yourself to be honest, to enjoy the process of journaling, meaning being more consistent about it, and sought out growth from these recorded life events, you are setting yourself up to grow from these challenges. This whole process allows and encourages us to own up to any role we've played in our challenges, whether it be poor decisions or faults in character, and actually grow from it. Basically, it encourages us to own up to our BS. All in all, journaling can be a powerful tool for dealing with everyday problems as well as more drawn-out problems. They create a sort of permanence to your thoughts, and they provide a sense of structure that would otherwise be a messy web of thoughts. When journaling, you are essentially forcing yourself to sit and put a clear sense of direction to your thoughts. I can't speak enough for the amount of times that I've gone from having a racing mind to being a completely at ease, happy self through journaling alone. I 10 out of 10 recommend it. What's more, if you journal at cafes, you're bound to have that meet cute.